to Chop Greens. I am your host, Philip Amrine, and today I am joined with the one, the only...
The magnificent.
The bed. Yeah, and then Gary Boucher.
I mean, beds, I can't beat a bed.
For those of you listening, which is pretty much everybody, we have a new addition to the Boucher studio room.
It is a giant queen-size bed.
Yes, there's a lot of moving in the Boucher household, so we're stuck with a bed in here for one time, and I'm telling you, during one of these Uber facts, you are going to go over there and just pull your hair out whilst on the bed, and you're just going to just cry into a pillow.
I didn't take you for a prophet, but you're probably right.
Probably. And speaking of the supernatural and prophecies and everything else, today marks the day that we review what I have only been twice dragged to by your own hand. You dragged me to 2 movies this summer.
Okay.
You dragged me to 2. One was Wonder Woman. I was pleasantly shook.
Yes.
And I was wrong. I admit that I was wrong, and the fact that they made The Lasso of Truth alone makes it a viable movie. However, we come now upon AnnaBelle Creation, which you're going to have to give a little bit more backstory than me because you've seen the other movies that this has been a sequel to.
Yes.
This is a prequel, but it's a follow-up to both AnnaBelle.
It's just a prequel to AnnaBelle, which
is a prequel in and of itself to The Conjuring.
Yes.
Which there are 2 of those.
Yep.
Okay. It's directed by David F. Sandberg, written by Gary Dauberman. And let's see, going down the line, I'm going to mess up some names here, as I normally do from week to week. Here we go. Anthony LaPiglia plays Sam Mullins. Samara Lee plays Bee. Miranda Otto plays Esther Mullins. More on her later to come, I guarantee that one. Brad Greenquist, Victor Palmieri. Lulu Wilson plays Linda. Let's see, any big ones? Stephanie Sigmund plays Sister Charlotte.
Yes.
Again, more on that to come.
Sister Charlotte.
And I'm trying to find out, did I already say, where's, Talitha Eilena Bateman plays Janice, which there's a bit of a twist on the end of there, so I'll let it rest at simply that. Okay, so we go to the movie.
Yes.
Give me your since I normally do the opening synopsis, you go ahead and introduce the scene, set the scene.
Would you like me... I'm just going to start off by saying that this is a total aside, but this is a PSA for everybody who watches movies. I went to this movie, and I had to switch theaters because there was this giant family that came, and they rolled up with strollers, and they parked their strollers in the aisle. They had 8 little kids with them, and they walked in in chunks of 10, and they took up 2 rows. They're like, hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, we're sitting over here. Come on. And they were laughing and joking around, and 5 minutes in, I turned to my girlfriend and I'm like, we can't do this. And so I don't really have the guts to complain to the manager, but she does. So she got up.
But she does.
She got her tickets changed.
God bless Maddie. Shout out for
right? Maddie. She got her tickets changed. We got up. We went to a different screening, and it was much better. So I just want to say, please don't take a family anywhere because it is just they had 30 people and it was just ridiculous. I just had to get that off my chest, man.
Well, okay, let's give the asterisk here. If they're going to see Jonah the movie,
that's totally cool.
You got to understand that. If they're going to see,
don't have your family reunion.
Don't have your family reunion
at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday showing of The Conjuring. 10 p.m. on a Tuesday.
What?
They got little kids. I'm like, doesn't your family go to school?
Not only are they going to a 10 p.m. showing of AnnaBelle with their children, it's a scary film and it's 10 p.m.
It's 10 p.m. It's Tuesday. What's going on?
There was a later showing than 10 p.m.?
Yeah, we got to the 10:50.
Okay.
We kind of sat in an empty theater for 40 minutes, but it was cool.
Okay. All right, now that the setting is officially
I got that off my chest.
Yes.
So for those of you who've seen the Conjuring movies, you know that they follow Ed and Lorraine Warren, who, as the story goes, collected a bunch of artifacts and were sort of these demon paranormal hunters who went solving cases. And one of the most famous artifacts that they ever got their hands on was the AnnaBelle doll, which is this cursed doll that basically had a demon put inside of it. It was like a bridge to the other side, and this demon would manifest itself with whichever family it had. And there's already been a movie called AnnaBelle, which is about the most famous owner of the doll, but AnnaBelle Creation is about the original story of how the doll, quote-unquote, came to be and the original family that it terrified. Okay. So that is basically where we pick up. I don't know if you want any more than that. Like, plot-wise, do you want a little intro?
Yeah, so you just set us up, the credits, roll credits, and now here we are.
This isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer. Obviously, there is a young couple, Samuel, and the wife's name escapes me, but I know that it's Miranda Otto. And Sam and his wife have this beautiful little daughter, AnnaBelle. And Sam, the dad, makes these little handcrafted, really terrifying looking dolls, but I'm sure in the 50s they were like selling like hotcakes. And
hotcake creepy dolls.
Yeah, and they're on their way home from church one day, and Sam is changing his tire, and a little nut rolls into the road, and so AnnaBelle, of course, is like, I'll get it! And she runs out to get it, and then boom, a car hits her, and she dies, and it's really sad. And then we find out that the family accepted AnnaBelle's soul, quote-unquote, into one of these dolls, and the doll has stuck with him, and weird things start happening in their house, just as this busload of orphans at like a Catholic orphanage comes to get dropped off at the house. Of course, perfect setup for a cheesy horror movie. Oh, a bunch of little Catholic girls in a haunted house. What could go wrong?
Right.
And we basically pick up from there.
All right, so let's attack this bullet point by bullet point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has a lot of the. For me, it just has a lot of the cheesy tropes that go along.
Pretty cliche movie.
Yes, rides a lot on the cliches, which is to say that it's not original. A lot. I mean, a lot of the. No. It's a poor origin story. Sometimes there's origin stories that surpass the original.
You know, I think that this one is better than AnnaBelle.
Okay.
But it is by no means like great.
Right.
You know.
And it is beholden to a lot of the scary tropes. When we see Get Out or even newer aged scary films such as, what was the one, Hear No Evil, I think was this year or last year, where the person couldn't see or hear or something. I think See No Evil was with Kane.
Yeah, I'm
talking about another
that
one.
Was Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe. Oh, the one that just came out recently.
That came out last year where the kids broke into the dude's house who was blind. That was a great movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good movie. This one resides in a lot of cheesy tropes that really just I feel like I've seen this movie 10 other times on straight to
stuff
DVD.
Was quote unquote scary, but there was nothing that was surprising. I mean, you could have. I'm sure all you guys listening could probably guess this plot right now.
And really, I'm really just about 95% done with scary films resting on the jump scare. As far as specifically the volume jump scare, where the only reason why I'm actually scared is because it's dead quiet and then all of a sudden a shriek.
Yeah.
A shrill shriek just pierces your eardrums to where you're almost deaf, and then you're jumping out of pure fright of
because it forces your body.
A pterodactyl flew into the movie theater.
Forces your body to do it. It's not actually
scary. And I'm now
scary.
going to be picked up and dragged to Jurassic Park.
You know that's kind of a big debate now amongst horror movies is what's quote unquote better and what's getting more popular and less popular. We have the traditional jump scare horror films, which make an absurd amount of money for the fact that you're pretty much getting the same product every time, where you have those more suspenseful, drama-oriented horror films, which those are usually more indie, and then these guys, these production studios pump out movies like AnnaBelle Creation every other month.
And the reason why is because they're so cheap to create. It's almost like making.
You don't really need that many effects. Obviously, this one a bit of a bigger budget. It's part of a bigger, almost franchise.
Yeah, it's a full franchise now.
But the return on horror movies for the low budget that you can do is just like mind-boggling.
It's akin to animation a lot of times. When you see last year, I believe Fred the Polar Bear, it was god awful animation.
Are you talking about Norm of the North?
Norm of the North. There you go.
It's like, what?
Yes, no, Norm of the North, where it's really bad animation for 2017. It passes as acceptable back when Shrek first came out, maybe in 2001 or something.
Yep.
But it does not pass the bar. But the reason why they do it is because it's so cheap to make that you can now return such it's just an easy profit game.
I mean, this one didn't have any like really A-list actors.
No, it had some that you've seen.
Who you've seen, but it's no one like, oh, so and so's in that movie. We got to see it. No, I mean crazy effects besides some ghostly jump scares that take 10 minutes to create in After Effects, and then you just have a lot of shadow and darkness, and like you said, the sound effects are pretty much as much, if not more, a part of it. So there's not a big effects budget.
And that goes into my first official bullet point of what's wrong with this film.
Yeah.
It was very quiet, where there's minimal soundtrack to this film.
Yeah.
Which is not a negative in most films. However, the fact that it's just pan dead silent, and that's what you're using to create an environment of which to scare people, it doesn't work for me. If you're going to do something, just at least create, an Alfred Hitchcock, symphony where it's a But this is
not really a big score. That's about it.
Right.
Ooh, I'm gonna play a game with you. Okay. I'm gonna predict your next point.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here.
You're on the limb. I can tell you.
And I'm gonna say child actors.
I wrote down. Kill me now. Child actors. I
knew it.
We're on 6 orphans.
6 children actors.
6 children actors.
I was like,
various ages. So even if one's good, I still got a 1 out of 5 shot of having to deal with a good actor to 5 bad ones.
I had a conscious thought. I was like, Phil is gonna hate the kid actors.
He's gonna blow his gasket. There was, I will give it credit. There was one scene where I thought that there was genuinely good acting, where it's let me just make sure. It's Janice to Lulu, I believe was her character's name. Let me make sure. No, I'm sorry. It was Janice to Linda, character to character, Talitha to Lulu Wilson. Their interaction when Janice was resting on the couch and it was at night and they were recounting their times within the orphanage.
Yeah.
That scene was genuinely good acting, good awareness.
The girl who played Janice, I thought held her own pretty well, especially compared to a few of those older girl actors who I thought were totally vanilla. I thought that she did. I mean, considering she was like 13 when they shot it, she did a good job. I mean, her character, not a great character.
No,
she's
not
totally
at all.
Believable.
And why are we giving the girl who's going to be possessed polio? Can we leave polio out of this? It was completely irrelevant outside of one moment of saying, hey, she can walk now. That was legitimately...
No, literally, the only reason they put it in there was so that when the monster was chasing her, she couldn't run. As soon as I saw her get off the bus and they were like, oh yes, Janice has polio. I was like, yeah, so that when she's crawling around the house, it's going to be easier for her to get caught. That's what it is. There's no reason for her to have polio. And just to make it scarier for us, which is cheap. It's unearned.
And in a lot of the scary moments just were stupid. I mean, I don't even know what... Nobody's going to see this. So, when somebody... I meant the movie. So when Janice is going down the staircase in her little buckle up chair, which I think is questionable at that time to say the very least.
Like, this is some nice technology. I don't even have to
research that for 1943.
Yeah,
but I'll go out on the limb and say, okay, I'll believe it for the sake of this point. When she's buckling up to get into this elevator, escalator down chair, this life alert chair that's going down the staircase, which is so eloquent for this middle of nowhere, in the middle of the mountains and desert house. She's going down and she buckles up. I mean, you're trying to escape from an outer worldly.
Because remember, the chair won't go unless she buckles up, and then she can't get it, and you're like, oh my god.
It was just so... There were so many times where I was more frustrated, and I was rooting for whatever evil force, because again, that itself wasn't explained. It was just kind of, it's demonic.
Yeah.
It's eviler than Satan itself. I mean, there was just no clairvoyancy whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we're going on, and I was just rooting for it to kill some girls at some point in time.
You know what I think?
Huh.
I think that this is your coping mechanism, because you were so scared that you just gotta think like that, because otherwise you just get too scared.
Otherwise I get too overwhelmed by the children actors. Yes. And then oh gosh, there were just so many bad moments within this film. And then one of which started pre-production. I completely thought the casting of Sister Charlotte was just completely miscast. I get it, maybe let's not typecast, but the fact that she was such an attractive nun made no sense whatsoever, in the 40s nonetheless, and it was totally playing on the fact of, we can't make, any of the orphans a hot, scary girl in this film, we gotta have one. Hey, eeny, meeny, miny, nun. It made no sense, and I'm just the whole film thinking, I don't believe this. I just do not believe this typecasting. I don't believe her having polio. I don't believe a lot of these lines. They make no sense. And a lot of these rules are scary rules in which were explained 3/4 of the film in, which is way too freaking late for a scary film. If you want to get me to be scared, again, I'm going to revert to this as I do from time to time. The Alfred Hitchcock law of a thriller is saying that the bomb is going on, there's a 3-minute timer of a bomb underneath a table upon which two men are having a conversation. Yeah. Knowing that bomb is going off, it makes that situation way more tense than just watching a conversation and boom. Yep. You get way more of a terrifying payoff. And so the fact that we're now finding out 3/4 of the way through, hey, this was our child. And the reason why is because we sold her soul to them. We didn't know who it was. It was so incurably frustrating.
I did think that was strange how she gave like a 5-minute anecdote of the entire backstory, like when the movie was about to be over. I was like, oh, okay.
And I will say, now let's get back to Miranda Otto, who gave that narrational exposition monologue, who plays Esther Mullins, the Miss Mullins, yes. Bravo to her.
Miranda Otto is a national treasure of...
No, not
Australian?
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying genius move by her by being both veiled behind a sheet and also being behind a mask so as to still get paid to be in the movie, but not heavily referenced that she's associated with this.
She's in there for like 2 scenes, she did some VO work, and that was that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, gotta give a shout out because she's in Lord of the Rings! And...
yeah, even the Lord of any deity would not save this film. I mean, the drapes and everything helped to conceal her so as she was not to be associated with this film. Good for her. But beyond that, it was just it's a piece of poo that they went 3/4 of the film and expecting us to gain interest with these characters to just accept for granted, hey, there's a scary doll, but I don't understand why it's all scary, and now it's moving, but it's not just the doll, it's a spirit as well, but it's not just the spirit because it's so utterly confusing and just doesn't make any sense because they don't set it to make sense, and then all the scenes beforehand I feel are a character development, but then again, I don't care about the characters, and they're also annoying characters, so it was just a complete margarita mix of utter annoyance that mixed together with a little green olive of children actors that just soured the whole thing even more. Any good notes for you, Gary?
I did not hate this film as much as you did. I have some of the same problems, but for me it is a very overwhelmingly okay movie. I didn't think it was awful. I mean, I think that the production value was good, the set design is kind of creepy, the story is exceedingly okay, the characters are not there, dialogue super expository, and
the timeline was way off.
Weird. Climax, I actually enjoyed the third act of the film, which took it from, like, poor to okay for me. I was mildly scared, but just like everyone else was, there wasn't anything that was super terrifying. I can't speak. I don't think that perhaps the things that bothered you bothered me quite as much, but I can definitely agree. It's kind of one of those movies where like I think you just gotta let go and just kind of mindlessly have fun as much as you can, because it's not a thinker, even though it might try to be, because those two Conjuring movies, that's where I was disappointed. They're super character driven. The stories are iron. You get a lot of justification as to what's going on, unlike this one where it's a lot open and there's like stuff spilling out and you're like, what's going on? So I think if you can let go and have fun, it might be a fun date night movie. If you're not a cinemaphile, you might like it.
No.
I think it would be. I mean, I saw a lot of couples at the movie with me, and they were having a grand old time.
Were they watching the film?
I think they were.
No, they weren't.
I think they were.
No, they weren't.
I got the back of my chair kicked like 4 times.
Gary, I'm gonna make this as PG-13 as I can. They were kicking the back of your thing, and that meant that they were not
kicking it for another reason.
Yes, they were kicking it, is what I'll say.
So it's very okay, and what sucks, the biggest part is that it's not that scary in the first 2 acts. The first 2 acts are kind of drag on, and you're like, all right, I understand what's going on, but I'm not really scared. And then the third act, you get that payoff, and there's a lot of chase scenes, and then you get your heart gets pumping because it's a thriller in the third act. It's not enough to take it from bad to good.
And
it's
again,
just all right.
I'm so done. Can we think above our pay grade here and not just make the same movie with different, just different characters? As far as the slow villainous killer just being slow for no other reason, just toying with its food, versus the dumb characters who put themselves into worse situations. They made commercials off of this stupidity of scary movie films, and they're mocking them, but yet the industry still will put these films out regardless.
It's all about the money, money, money.
It blows my freaking mind. The only film that's done this correctly, or at least semi-correctly, was It Follows, where it was built on the premise that it's a slow thing, and it's almost like the Chinese water torture of it's coming and it's always going to be following you. You can't outrun it, but it's the tortoise and the hare element. It took pride in that, and it made it aware of that situation. Whereas in this film, it's just, hey, light bulb pop. 20 other seconds later, light bulb pop. 30 other seconds later, past that, light bulb pop.
Oh, I actually like that scene. I thought it was one of the more intense scenes.
It was, but it's just so slow. And then by the time we're out of that environment, we're back in the house. All of a sudden, we're like back 20, a full minute and a half before, just for them to all meet back outside the fire. It was so utterly frustrating that I was more frustrated than scary. And the only times it was scary was because the volume would just blew my freaking brains out. And
your body just reacts to it.
Yes.
You're not doing it because you're scared. You're like, oh! The
best comment I can say was that many times throughout the film, I thought that there were actual crickets in the film. That there was a great environment ambiance. And I was like, are there crickets in the film, or is it crickets in the theater? So, good for that.
Very astute observation.
Yes. So bravo to
that sound design crew.
Yeah, sound design crew. Don't matter if it's a good or bad film. You worked for your money on this one. Any last closing notes before we give it our ratings?
Just 2 words. I guess 1 word. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just okay. This is one of the only movies that I didn't write a review on immediately after. I write reviews on every movie, but usually, like, I really enjoy the movie or I really hate it. I didn't really feel anything about this. I was like, oh, this is a horror movie. It's alright. And so I couldn't think of enough words to write about it besides, this was, it wasn't bad. It was alright. That's like my attitude. It's just that voice. Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah,
but, my 1 word would be subpar.
Subpar?
Yes, if I had to put it into 1 word, which I wouldn't want to. This film deserves multiple words as to why it's so bad. All right, would you care to go first? On
I'll go first.
Gary Boucher bar
so you
ratings.
can surprise us. I'm going to give it a 59. 5.9.
Oh.
It's alright.
That's okay.
Like a 60 is like
so
approaching.
If it's just alright, wouldn't that be 50? I guess
between like 50 and 65 is like the okay
Okay.
spectrum.
Ugh, okay. Yeah, I'm at a 27.
27?
Yes, it was. It's a scary film that wasn't scary. And so, I mean, by definition, it's going down. It was not creative. And in the title it says creation. So, I mean, if you're going to go creative and you have creation in the title, at least create something that's new. And it didn't even make sense that the face moniker of this is a doll, but yet it doesn't. The doll is almost the same as in Saw, to where the doll means nothing in Saw other than a little just thread to tie everything together. Whereas in this film, it's not even a conduit or a vessel. It's just it's so meaningless that it's pointless. It just goes beyond imagination.
And there's child actors. A lot of child actors.
It's poorly cast for the adults. And then Anthony LaPiglia just was completely confusing in a lot of scenes where I didn't understand why they made him creepy when he wasn't. I don't know. Just a lot of poor decisions went into my 27%, but I stand by it proudly. All right. Let's get back on the good foot.
Yes, sir.
And let's get you
say this right.
Yes, let me say this correctly. Let's get you to the section of Give Me 5 right after this commercial break. Red Ribbon Realty Group at HomeSmart is a full-service real estate team of Phoenix natives with over 15 years of experience in the industry. When you work with them, you have 2 full-time realtors representing your best interests throughout your entire transaction, whether you are selling, buying, or renting. They also believe in supporting their community. Use code word chopped greens and Red Ribbon Realty Group will donate 15% of their net commission from your transaction to the nonprofit charity of your choice. Visit their website at www.redribbongroup.com and find them on Facebook. You can also email them at info@redribbongroup.com or call them at 602-888-6638. Red Ribbon Realty Group. Trust. Commitment. Home. I hope you have your tissues ready, Gary Boucher.
Because you're going to make me sneeze?
Make you... I'm so angry I could sneeze.
That's what they say.
All right. This is Gimme 5, the part of the show where I've got 5 questions for you. Gary, you got 5 questions for me. We don't know what they are, but we will answer them honestly.
Yes,
Gary,
sir.
would you like to go first or second this week?
This week I'll go second. I went first last time.
Next week I'll let you go first.
I got you.
Okay, sounds good. You go first, buddy.
Oh.
No, you said second. So I'll let you go. I'll let you go second this time. All right. My first question: Anquan Boldin won't be lining up for the Buffalo Bills this season after all. The wide receiver has informed the team he is retiring. Quote, football has afforded me a platform throughout my career to have a greater impact on my humanitarian work, and at this time I feel drawn to make the larger fight for human rights a priority, Bolden said in a statement. Quote, still, my life's purpose is bigger than football, end quote. Bolden, aged 36, was expected to bring a veteran presence to the offense after signing with the team on August 7th. He had just 1 catch for 5 yards in Thursday's preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Gary, Anquan Boldin originated as a great Arizona Cardinal receiver. Do you think he is worthy of being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? And next one, or even having his number retired by the Cards. And then last, how late is too late to retire into a season where it will negatively affect the team you had signed up with?
I'm gonna do the second one first.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Will he have his number retired?
I would. Oh. Okay, so there's 3. Number retired by the Cardinals. No.
Okay.
We didn't win the Super Bowl. And he didn't stay. Where Fitzgerald, Warner, guys like that. Those are who you retire first before Bolden, who's kind of moved around. He's a perfectly fine player, a good player. He was, I guess I have to say now. Will he be inducted in the Hall of Fame? How many seasons did he play? Like 9 seasons?
No, I think. Let me look that up while you're debating.
Yeah. He doesn't. I mean, he's always been probably a top 10 or 15 receiver every year he's been in, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, he's just been a solid guy year in, year out.
I don't think he's ever been even the best receiver on his team.
He's usually been a number 2, a solid number 2. If he's your number 2 guy, you're doing all right.
You're doing all right, but he's never been like your go-to.
No.
So for that reason, I'm gonna say no.
He's been around since 2003, so 13.
14 years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good amount of time. Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to look at the stats further, but off the top of my head, I would say no.
Okay.
Now, how late is too late? Well, at least he did it before the season started, and they're still making cuts and everything. But I think everyone would rather people retire at the end of a year or in the summer instead of like when the season is kind of already rolling. That kind of sucks.
Right.
And that will probably hurt his team because they're probably banking on having Anquan Bolden because he'd be a really strong asset. So that's not cool.
All right. Your turn, Gary.
Phil, I have a list.
Oh, excellent.
It is a list of 10 horror movies. And it is the 10 top highest grossing horror movies of all time.
Not where I thought we were going.
No. I'm going to give you 10. See if you can throw the top 5 in there in no particular order. I love this game. I love movies and money.
Yes, money movies.
You ready for this? All right. In no particular order, I'm going to scramble them for you. The Conjuring 2.
Okay.
Shutter Island.
Okay.
Sixth Sense.
Okay.
The Exorcist.
Exorcist.
7. The movie 7 with Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
I knew that was going to be weird.
I thought you meant Exorcist 7 for a second. I was heavily confused. Continue.
Van Helsing.
The one with Hugh Jackman?
The one with Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
The Conjuring. The first one.
The first Conjuring.
Hannibal.
Ooh.
Signs. And Jaws.
And Jaws. Okay. So
it's the top 5 out of that.
The top 5
highest grossing.
Highest grossing. And these are definitely the top 10, correct?
Yes,
okay.
These are the top 10.
All right, let's go down here. Jaws.
Correct, that's number 2.
Okay. Number 1 would probably have to be Hannibal.
Incorrect, but is that a guess? Are you throwing that in there?
Yeah, that is a guess.
Hannibal's number 5.
Okay. Number 5. I'm gonna go with Shutter Island.
Shutter Island's all the way down to number 10.
Ooh.
I really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, I do too. It was a good one-outer. Once you see it once,
it's just not one of those that you got to revisit. Yeah.
No. Sixth Sense.
Yeah, number 1.
Okay, there we go. Working my way back. Conjuring, the original.
That's number 8.
What?
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. Makes sense though.
Yeah.
7.
7 is 6.
What? All right, there we go. 3 strikes him out. What did I miss?
Number 1, Sixth Sense. Number 2, Jaws. Number 3, The Exorcist. Number 4, Signs. Number 5, Hannibal.
Okay.
Kind of a weird top 5. Like you wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
But you know.
All right. My next one. Here we go. Gary. Okay. Writer-director Joss Whedon has a long, somewhat complicated history with the depiction of women in film, taking heat for female storylines in his own movies, including Avengers: Age of Ultron, while simultaneously critiquing what he perceives as sexism in films like Jurassic World. While Whedon has dedicated much of his career to creating female ass-kickers in projects like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dollhouse, and presumably the upcoming Batgirl, a new essay written by his ex-wife, Kai Cole, for The Wrap, claims the director's outspoken feminism belies a marriage marked by cheating, a deception she sees as antithetical to his public persona. Cole writes, "I now see how he used his relationship with me as a shield, both during and after our marriage, so no one would question his relationships with other women, or scrutinize his writing as anything other than feminist," end quote. Cole delves into the alleged multiple infidelities of her ex-husband carried on without her knowledge, the first of which took place on the set of Buffy. Only when their marriage dissolved, she says, did the Avengers director admit the extent to which he was living, quote, 2 lives.
Wow.
Gary, let's accept the premise that Whedon does have a history of infidelity. How much, if at all, does that delegitimize his feministic messages?
Well, for one, I didn't know that.
I know.
That really sucks.
If it's true, to be fair, I think this is all still alleged. I'm not entirely sure what's been.
I mean, if it's true, that obviously is, like she said, pretty antithetical to the fact that he is a self-proclaimed feminist filmmaker. If you're gonna go around and cheat on your wife, what's weird though is I can see how he would use it as a shield, but his writing is still his writing. You know what I mean? So if he's putting out content that is itself feminist, we can still disconnect that from him and say this is a movie that promotes feminism. And then it's like, oh well, Joss Whedon wrote it. It doesn't make the movie any less feminist. It makes him look bad, but the movie itself can still be a feminist message.
I think that's what a lot of people debate and have inner debates among themselves. You know, whether it's Michael Jackson back in the day, whether it's Bruno Mars with drugs, or whether it's even just other people that I'm drawing a blank on now. But where you are asked to separate the artist from the art, and you wonder. At what point are you able to do that?
Yeah.
In full good conscience. All right, your turn.
Alrighty. Ooh, unlock. There it goes. Alrighty.
Technical difficulty.
I have... So, AnnaBelle creation is quote-unquote based on a true story. Obviously, legend... They twisted it. It was one of those Ed and Lorraine Warren stories that they adapted into a movie, right?
Okay.
So I have just a quick little list here of some movies, some of which are based on a true story.
At some demented level, it could be.
At some warped, demented level, and some of them are just completely fiction, made up in somebody's head.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go down the list. Tell me if it's based on a true story or not. You ready?
I'm ready.
Jaws.
True.
False. Human Centipede.
False?
Correct. False. Yeah, false. Eaten Alive.
False.
Oh, true. Based on a serial killer who captured people and fed them to crocodiles. His name was Joe... I forget his last name. It was Joe something. He lived in Florida. Ironic. Silence of the Lambs.
True.
No.
What? Okay.
Not true. Signs.
Well, that's difficult because I know that there were crop circles. I mean, was there an alien though? I mean, I'll go true.
No, it was inspired by crop circles, but not based on a true narrative.
Okay.
Last one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
True.
Correct.
Okay.
Those killings happened, and this guy, when he was found, had a collection of 9 faces that he kept. So that's great.
All right.
On to you, sir.
On to me. Who lives under a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
That is a fun fact, but I've got uber facts right now.
Oh my god.
Gary, this is the part of the show where I've got five sets of facts for you.
What even was that, man? Like, that was so good.
For those of you who don't know, I got 5 sets of facts for you. 2 of the facts that I'll give you are true, absolute, concrete facts given by Uber Facts. The other one I've completely made up. I need you to tell me which of those facts
You made up.
I made up.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's see how.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I hope you are. Let's see how you do right frickin' now. All right. Fact number 1: during Singapore's, I can say this. Yeah, during Singapore's penis panic of 1967, Singapore General Hospital treated a total of 454 men who believed their areas were shrinking.
Oh my god.
Okay. Number 2, if a cat were to live from a kitten to at least 10 years old in the wild, it would eat at least 740,000 birds in its lifetime. Fact number 3, Central Park costs about as much money as the entire state of Alaska. Which one is the fake fact?
Number 2.
You're saying the cat one?
Yes.
That is the fake fact.
I knew it, Phil.
Congratulations.
You're cat facts.
Me and my cat facts. All right, let's see if you can keep this up. 1 and done, I say.
1 and done.
Okay, next one. Having a frenemy at your job makes you work harder, since you tend to focus on being better than them a study shows. Fact number 2, industrialized-sized fans have a high enough wind force that if a mouse were to walk above one, it could fly.
Oh.
And fact number 3, there is a Greek expression for who cares that literally translates to there is trouble in the gypsy village. Which one is the fake fact?
The last one.
The last one?
The last one.
You are wrong, sir!
Which one was
The flying mouse.
I was gonna guess that, but then I was like,
The last one was just so ridiculous.
well, I was like, he's not gonna put 2 number 2s in a row as
I
he did.
am unpredictable. You cannot predict me and my cats. Next one. Hydrocodone. Hydrocodone?
Is that your fact?
Yes, hydrocodone.
Hydrocodone.
Hydrocodone, a prescribed painkiller, is so strong that a normal dosage of the medication for humans would kill any being smaller than a chihuahua instantly upon taking it. Fact number 2. The beluga whale is one of only a few whales that can swim backwards. In fact number 3, the pathways of the roads in Central Park were specifically designed to be curved so no one could race their horse and carriage. Which fact is the fake fact?
What was the first one again?
The first one, hydrocodone can kill any being smaller than a chihuahua.
That one.
That was the fake one?
Correct.
You are correct.
Oh.
So my cats and chihuahuas, I gotta stay away from my sea animals.
I know, well, and you had another Central Park one in there. I was like, what's this? What's going on with Central Park?
I thought that might throw you off.
It did.
Good one,
It
one.
did in my mind, yes.
All right, fact number 1. The Catholic Church spends an estimated 170 billion a year. Billion a year in the U.S. alone, with almost 150 billion going to hospitals and colleges. Fact number 2, Paul Allen, a Microsoft co-founder who also has a marine conservation foundation, destroyed 80% of a protected reef with his yacht's anchor. In fact number 3, an electric eel's eccentric movement through the water is so unique that the eel's movement serves as the inspiration to the dance choreography for the electric slide.
The last one.
Last one's the fake one?
Yes.
Absolutely, I'm getting predictable.
Ooh. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, last one.
Wait, if I get this will be my greatest game ever. 4 out of 5, because I've had 3 out of 5 once.
Yes.
So if I get 4 out of 5...
It's gonna mark a new day.
Oh my god.
A new day.
Oh my god.
Here we go. A 2014 study found that loud background noise and music in restaurants impairs a person's ability to taste sweet and sour. Fact number 2. Neon highlighters were invented to point out parts of a patient's skin for dermatologists. Fact number 3. Only 17 U.S. states require high school students to take a course in personal finance. Which fact is the fake fact? This one's
It's
bad.
between 1 and 2. These could all be real. But...
I'm not going to give you anything. I'm going to sip my water.
Number 2 is the fake fact. Final answer, locking it in.
All right. Gary, I just want you to know that you picked your own doom. That you did pick the right one.
Oh! 4 out of 5?
Wow.
Yes!
Perfection eludes you.
Oh my
god.
God.
4 out of 1.
4 out of
4 out of 5,
5.
excuse me. Maybe next week you'll get perfect.
My god.
All right.
It's just a flying mouse that gets me, man, every time.
It was a SpongeBob.
I can finally say, oh.
There you go. Congratulations.
Oh my God,
Your turn, sir.
I'm like too happy about this right
I
now.
know. Forget the bad.
This is like the best part of my week.
Yes.
All right. So, this is a little two-parter. Guess who is the highest paid actor of the last year?
Robert Downey Jr.?
No. Do you have any other guesses?
Oh, The Rock.
Guess who just passed The Rock?
Guess who just passed The Rock? Kevin Hart?
No, sir. His name is Marky Mark.
Really?
Mark Wahlberg, yeah,
That makes
because of
sense.
stupid Michael Bay. So,
Yeah. Sure.
I just want to see, I'm not going to give you anybody, but can you round out the top 5, the next 4?
3, right? The Rock.
Well, yeah, because I kind of gave you that one, but who is 3, 4, and 5 the highest paid actors in the world right now? It's kind of surprising.
Okay, let's think about this. Who's in every... Samuel L. Jackson.
Incorrect.
Ooh. Who's in every film? Yet...
Don't approach it that way.
Really?
Think...
Okay, so let's think about this. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Incorrect. He doesn't do as many movies as these people.
As many movies as these people. Okay, so let's go with Will Smith.
Incorrect.
What? Okay, so I'm 3 out of 3. I'm 3 strikes. Who else?
Alright, so number 3 is Vin Diesel.
Oh.
Number 4 is Adam Sandler because of his deal with Netflix. And number 5 is Jackie Chan because of the movies he does overseas. I guess he pumps him out. He pumps him out in China. I guess he makes a lot of money doing them.
Go, Jackie.
So, yeah.
I know he's coming out with one that I saw a commercial
The
for.
Foreigner. I got advanced screening tickets to it, and I had to give it up because I had to work.
What is it called?
The Foreigner.
The Foreigner, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks semi-interesting.
It could be good.
Could
be a good action film, yeah. It could be.
I'm hesitant.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. Penn Jillette is apologizing profusely for his wisecracks insulting Newfoundland. The talkative half of the Penn and Teller Magic and Comedy Act called Newfoundland, quote, a euphemism for stupid during Friday's Overtime with Bill Maher. Gillette also said that residents of the frozen north, in his words, quote, club seals and are his people. Gillette has said he has family roots in Newfoundland, which is part of the Canadian province including Labrador. A social media backlash was followed by an explanation and succession of apologies Saturday from Gillette on Twitter. Gillette said he was wrong, repeating the word 5 more times in one tweet alone. Gary, let's not take it personal here. I've got a game where I've got 4 insults that may or may not, do I have only 4? I thought I had 5. I do only have 4. Okay, sorry, just making
give
sure.
Me 4.
I'm just making sure. Alright, I have 4 insults that may or may not have been hurled at Arizona State University over the years. I want you to tell me which one of these 5 insults were not aimed at ASU. So they're all real insults.
Which one was not aimed at ASU?
One of them was not aimed at ASU.
And you are ASU alumni, right?
I am.
And I am currently attending.
Yes.
So this is just
saying
close
this
to
is
home.
the homeland. All right. Number 1, and I've whichever one's the fake one, I've made it to appear as if it was ASU. So just know.
Okay.
And these are all real. John Oliver on Last Week Tonight. He said during a long-winded rant concerning the difficulty that Syrian refugees face when immigrating to the U.S., Oliver noted that while, quote, it is difficult to vet people coming out of a war zone, it's not like we're just letting anyone in. We are the United States of America, not Arizona State. Number 2, in Ted 2, the film's 2 main characters, played by Mark Wahlberg and McFarlane himself, joke about the fact that another character attended Arizona State with barbs about sex on houseboats and how ASU students party more than they study. Number 3, yeah, you gotta keep these in mind. Alright, number 3, Bill Maher. The famed comedian and political pundit also touched upon ASU's snub of the POTUS in, this was Barack Obama, in his 2010 HBO special, But I'm Not Wrong. Quote, what posers, Arizona State? You gave it to Tommy Lasorda last year. For crying out loud. Maher jokes. F you! I've been to that school. It's Partyville. It's a football school. You know when strippers say, I'm working my way through college? That's the college. Alright, and last one. On a fire at an ASU library that destroyed 20 books, opposing head coach of Oregon, Chip Kelly, said, the real tragedy was that 15 hadn't been colored in yet. Alright.
These are all golden.
These are golden, and we gotta take it with a grain of salt. Alright, which one was the fake one that was not aimed at ASU?
I'm gonna have to go with the John Oliver one.
The John Oliver one?
Yeah.
You are incorrect.
Which one was the fake one?
The one about 15 hadn't been colored in yet. It was head coach Steve Spurrier talking about Auburn University.
Okay.
But that's one of the best insults of all time.
That's a golden right there. I've never heard one that good.
That is fantastic.
That's fantastic.
All right. I did have 5.
Oh.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, I'll hear this one.
Alec Bolden made a condescending jab at anyone who wanted to attend the school. A parent, quote, "A parent is the one person who is supposed to make their kid think they can do anything. Says they're beautiful even when they're ugly, and thinks they're smart even when they go to Arizona State." All right, there we go.
Yeah, Alec
Goes
Bolden.
to you.
All right, so we recently went through one of the biggest astronomical events, astrological sky events
In
the last 100 years.
In the
Yeah,
universe.
when we had a solar eclipse
Yes.
on Monday. I was at work and it just kind of seemed like pretty light outside. I didn't notice anything because I was working, and I was like, huh, that's cool. I saw the pictures, they were pretty cool. It's something that I could have missed out on, but there's a lot of stuff in history that I would not want to miss out on. There's stuff that I'm sad that I'm not going to have been there to see. What historic moment do you wish that you could have seen?
Oh boy. Which historical moment do I wish I could have seen?
Yeah.
See, the thing about it is that most of my favorite moments in history, I do not want to be there. Because...
Well, if you could watch from like a pod far away and
from like I'm watching from the sky and...
Yeah, or if you could be down there and like be invisible or something.
I'd imagine I'd probably want to be there. Oh, gosh, I'm going through all my history books right now. Okay, what if I want to be there. Okay, let's do this. I would want to be there during the JFK assassination.
So you would know what really happened?
Yeah.
I can dig that.
I mean, if I could get just coordinate and see all angles and look through
you
everything.
could break it down. You could be like the instant replay.
Yes, and kind of like that Minority Report with Tom Cruise. Just like grab the gloves, put them on, and just reverse that. Grab this memory, put it up there,
boom,
widen it, look at the area, throw that away. That's incorrect. Okay, and then just go through it all.
And then we would know.
We would know. All right, my last question there. Good question, Gary. Twitter is often the place artists take their issues with one another to, but it can lead to promising connections as well. On Sunday, Chance the Rapper and Bruno Mars learned they were mutual fans of one another on the platform, and they're already making plans to collaborate. Holding a fan Q&A, he titled Ask the Dragon, or hashtag Ask the Dragon, Bruno answered a number of questions about himself, but the most important one turned out to be, who do you want to collab with? Bruno answered with one name, Chance the Rapper, even going as far as to tag the Chicago MC in the post to know his stance.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that might be coming down the pipe. But Gary, I'm going to allow you the chance to put any two musical acts together. So the requirement must be that the collaboration ends up musical, but it can be through any format, with any two people, dead or alive. Who are you going with for Maximum Music Nirvana?
Maximum Music Nirvana. I'm going to give you two artists who, if I combine them, I would want to die to their music.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Bach.
Okay.
Johann Sebastian Bach, a classical artist. And Hans Zimmer.
Wow.
A modern classicist. And imagine if they put their brain power together, they could make a musical
A
explosion.
musical symphony for the ages.
Yes. And
Wow.
and like I said, I would die to it. I would listen to it as I die.
That would be the movie soundtrack to your self-biography.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Good going out there. I thought maybe you might go for like a musical because the way I worded it, I was thinking about creating like a musical or a movie musical.
Oh, I feel you.
But there was no.
That
real
works,
answer.
right?
That works. That totally works. Go see it.
Police in Germany recently arrested a man and his son on the highway with suspect license plates. And do you know what they found in their car?
Kim Kardashian makeup.
Incorrect.
Oh, Kylie Jenner makeup?
Slightly close.
Okay.
They found ecstasy pills manufactured to look like Donald Trump.
Oh.
Yeah, they have Trump's face. They are these orange ecstasy pills that say Trump on the back, and they have his smoldering face on the front.
It's funny that they're orange. That
I think that was done purposefully.
That is that's one of those small details that
Clever
you take a lot of
jab,
pride
right?
in.
It's a little Easter egg.
Yes. Anyways.
So his face is now all over German ecstasy. My question to you is why?
Okay.
What would you want your face to be on forever? Like food, product.
Right.
What would you be okay with your face being on?
Okay, work with me here, okay?
Okay.
I'm thinking it's got to be something timeless. Something that isn't just a fad, you know. Donuts could I could see those going out of style because of how we're going towards a health movement.
Yeah.
And it has to be something that you could actually put designs on. So you can't go, like frickin' lima bean, like that's weird.
Yeah.
And you can't really go, you can't go donut or bagel because then it's not the whole food, you're just kind of on it.
Yeah,
It's just like a small little tattoo on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with raviolis.
Raviolis, Philly-olis.
Because I like cheese. And if I have to die and I'm honored by being on the face of raviolis, not Chef Boyardee, I don't want to be on the can.
No.
I want to be on the
You want to be the actual food.
Yes. So I'm going to go raviolis.
The face of American pasta.
It's a blank canvas right now. I'm ready to be posed and framed.
Sponsors? Are we, sponsors?
Boyardee, boy are me. All right. And I think that wraps it up for us. Right? That was your last one?
Yes, sir.
All right, that was my last one. All right. So, with that, our next film.
Yes.
Interesting film that just kind of, for me, came out of nowhere. And then now it's like highly touted. Going to be speeding to a theater near us and the viewers. Logan Lucky.
Steven Soderbergh's coming out of retirement party.
What was his last one? 13? Ocean's 13?
Magic Mike?
Magic Mike was definitely... Well...
I don't think... No, he did... So he does like this weird thing where half the time he makes big Hollywood movies and the other half he does like really weird experimental films.
I've heard about those.
His last movie was like a really under-the-radar experimental film. I'm not sure what it was.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so we will we'll see that and get the lowdown on that for next week.
I'm excited.
I am too. I anything is better than AnnaBelle. I can't imagine that. Well, okay, Last Action Hero was pretty bad, but at least I had a couple lines of cheesiness that I think it was going for. I'm not sure. Anyways, for
Gareth Boucher,
I'm Philip Amaray. Thank you so much for listening to Chop Greens. For these and all of our other episodes, visit YouTube for all of our archived episodes and oh my gosh, I'm.
Oh no.
Oh, Spotify. No, not Spotify.
SoundCloud?
SoundCloud. Listen to SoundCloud for all of our newest episodes. And as a closing word, which is bird.
Bye.